The garden fell silent as Isabella's voice sliced through the soft chatter like a blade. Look at you, Sophia, standing there in that cheap dress, pretending everything's fine. You're 37 years old and still playing pretend with your little side project. It's embarrassing for all of us. We were gathered near the Rose Arch for what was supposed to be the final family photo before the bridal party shots. The Oakwood estate in Sonoma Valley shimmered under the late afternoon sun, its manicured lawns stretching toward rolling vineyards. White roses climbed every trellis, and a string quartet played softly in the distance. Isabella's wedding had cost a fortune, $25,000 just for the venue. Not counting the custom floral installations or the celebrity chef handling catering. Everything was perfect. Everything except me. I stood on the edge of the group in my simple black sheath dress from Macy's. The kind that fit well, but didn't scream luxury. My mother, Victoria Reynolds, adjusted Isabella's veil with practiced grace, her own emerald gown catching the light.
Dad.
Michael hovered nearby in his tailored tux, smiling indulgently at his golden child. Isabella, radiant in her $10,000 lace gown, turned fully toward me. Her new husband, Ethan, shifted uncomfortably beside her but said nothing. Mom and Dad have been working so hard to help you, Sophia. They've lined up real opportunities. Alan Whitaker over there, he's a director at a major marketing agency. He mentioned an opening for a junior coordinator. $58,000 starting. With your background, it's generous. The words landed heavily. I felt the eyes of nearby guests flick our way. Table 6, where I'd been seated, was visible in the distance, tucked near the back beside distant cousins and an uncle who only talked crypto. Not the head table. Not even close. I have a job, Isabella, I said quietly. My voice stayed even, though my chest tightened. She laughed. The sound brittle. Your little online thing? Developing apps or whatever you call it.
Come on.
You've been at it for 15 years since you dropped out of Caltech. 15 years. And what do you have? A beat-up 2012 Camry and that tiny loft in the Mission District. Mom told me about the neighborhood, sketchy at best. Victoria sighed. The familiar sound heavy with disappointment. Sophia. Honey. We just want what's best. You could have stayed closer to home in the suburbs. Safe. Respectable. Instead, you chase these tech dreams that go nowhere. When was the last time you took a real vacation? Bought yourself something nice? I bought a new workstation last quarter, I replied. The words felt small even as I said them. Isabella rolled her eyes. A computer doesn't count. Look at Ethan and me. We just closed on a 5-bedroom in Napa with a wine cellar. That's success. Not scraping by selling gadgets online or whatever vague thing you do. The photographer cleared his throat, trying to move things along. But the momentum had shifted. More guests paused their conversations. My father stepped in, voice firm but paternal. Sophia, these people are doing us a favor. Margaret Lynn runs a boutique PR firm. She might have an admin role opening, phones, scheduling, entry level. It would get your foot in the door. You've wasted enough time. I glanced toward Margaret, elegant in emerald silk, laughing with the group across the lawn. She looked like someone who had built something real. Part of me wanted to speak up then, to list the enterprise clients. The contracts quietly secured over years of late nights in my actual penthouse overlooking the bay. But I stayed silent. I'd stayed silent for years, letting their assumptions harden like concrete. Isabella pressed on, voice rising. You're an embarrassment, Sophia. We make excuses for you constantly.
Oh.
Sophia couldn't join the family trip. She's busy with her hobby. Sophia can't chip in for gifts, money's tight. Everyone here knows about you. Derek's colleagues. Dad's partners. my friends from the firm. They all see the Reynolds family failure. Ethan murmured something low, but she shook him off.
No. Someone has to say it.
You've had every chance. Stanford, no. Caltech dropout. Brilliant on paper. But zero follow-through. Now you're 37.
Alone.
Driving that relic of a car. Wearing off-rack dresses to formal events. It's pathetic. The air grew thick. The quartet had stopped.
Whispers spread.
I felt heat rise in my cheeks. Not from shame exactly, but from the familiar ache of being unseen. Memories flashed, holidays where my attempts to share milestones were dismissed as boring tech talk, invitations ignored. Assumptions that I lived hand-to-mouth because I chose understated clothes and a reliable old car over flash. Victoria touched my arm gently. We're trying to help. Talk to Alan and Margaret. It's not too late for a real career. I met her eyes. I appreciate the thought. But I'm not interested. Isabella's face hardened. Of course not. Because admitting you need help would mean facing the truth, that your little venture is a joke. Guests had gathered closer now, drawn by the rising voices. A distinguished man in his 50s, Alan Whitaker, shifted uneasily. Perhaps this is best handled privately, he suggested. My father stiffened. It's a family discussion. But it wasn't private anymore. The humiliation unfolded in full view. Every word carving deeper. Isabella gestured broadly. My sister Sophia. Everyone, a cautionary tale. Dropped out of one of the top tech schools to chase internet dreams. 15 years later. Still broke. Still pretending. I could have ended it. I could have pulled out my phone and shown the truth. But something held me, the years of being underestimated. The desire to see just how far family could go when they thought they were superior. So, I let it continue. The tension coiling tighter with every accusation. The accusations kept coming, each one building on the last like layers of a storm cloud. Isabella's voice carried across the garden. Sharp and unrelenting. Prove it. Sophia. Show us one real client. One contract. Anything that says you're not just sitting in that cramped apartment playing entrepreneur. I stood there, absorbing it all. The sun dipped lower, casting long shadows across the white roses. The scent of gardenias mixed with tension. My simple black dress suddenly felt like armor, chosen deliberately. Not because I couldn't afford better, but because I didn't need to prove anything through clothes. My Camry waited in the lot, reliable as ever, though I also kept a Tesla and a luxury SUV garaged for when discretion wasn't the goal. Victoria's eyes glistened. We've been so worried. Living alone in the city. Dangerous area. No vacations. No nice things. Jewelry? Designer pieces? Look at Isabella, her ring. The house. That's what building a life looks like. Michael cleared his throat. Sophia, please, let us help. Talk to Alan about the coordinator role. Margaret's admin position. You're smart. You could still turn this around. Alan Whitaker looked deeply uncomfortable. This doesn't feel right. A wedding should be joyful. Margaret Lynn joined quietly, her green dress vivid. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like Sophia has been managing on her own for a long time. Maybe the family should listen before offering entry-level jobs. Isabella whirled on her. You don't know our situation. Sophia's been coddled too long with delusions. The crowd thickened. Phones came out discreetly. Whispers grew. I felt the weight of judgment, but beneath it, a strange calm. 15 years of bootstrapping Apex Dynamics from a tiny home office to a company serving Walmart, Target, major logistics giants with AI-optimized supply chain software. No venture capital taken. Profitable every quarter. 3,000 employees across global offices. But they saw only what fit their narrative, The dropout sister. The quiet one at table 6. Ethan tried intervening again.
Izzy.
Maybe enough.
No, she snapped.
I'm tired of the lies. Tired of explaining why Sophia skips family events or can't dress properly. She's an embarrassment. The word landed like a physical blow. Victoria gasped. Isabella. That's too harsh. Is it? Look at her life. The car from 2012. The apartment no one visits. She prefers it that way because it's cheap. I spoke softly. My car is reliable. I prefer it for every day. And the loft isn't what you think. Isabella snorted. Whatever. The point is, you're wasting potential. Caltech could have led somewhere real. Instead, this fantasy. Guests murmured. A venture capitalist from Ethan's side, Marcus Hale, watched intently. The string quartet remained silent. Even the caterers paused near the tents. I let the silence stretch. Heart pounding but voice steady. Every past slight replayed. Ignored anniversary invites for the company. Dismissed Christmas updates. Offers of help rejected as charity from someone scraping by. Finally, Isabella addressed the growing audience. My sister is proof intelligence isn't enough. Best schools. 0 results. Still alone. Still failing. Alan stepped forward. This has gone far enough. Family matters privately. Michael replied stiffly. With respect, it's internal. Margaret countered coolly. It stopped being private when you announced job offers for her publicly. And quite frankly, offering admin roles to someone who... She stopped. Phone in hand. Eyes widening as she scrolled.
Wait.
Sophia Reynolds, founder of Apex Dynamics. The shift was subtle at first. Then phones lit up across the crowd. Someone called out. Turn on the TV in the bar area. The venue's large screen, usually off, flickered to life on CNBC. Breaking news banner, major tech acquisition, Apex Dynamics acquired by Google in $9 billion deal. The reporter spoke clearly. In a stunning move, Google has announced the acquisition of Apex Dynamics, the AI-powered supply chain optimization platform founded by Sophia Reynolds 15 years ago. The deal values the company at $9 billion. Reynolds, known for her low-profile approach despite massive success, bootstrapped the firm from a small San Francisco base to serving enterprise giants worldwide. Her personal stake positions her net worth north of $3.8 billion post-deal. Gasps rippled. Victoria's hand flew to her mouth. Isabella turned ghostly white. The screen showed my professional photo, confident. Skyline behind me. Reynolds maintains a philosophy of substance over spotlight, the reporter continued. Apex employs over 3,000 globally, with technology integrated by major retailers and logistics firms. Michael whispered, Sophia. Is that? I nodded once. Yes. Shock froze the garden. Isabella swayed slightly. 9 billion? That's impossible. You sell gadgets online. No, I said calmly. You assumed I sold gadgets. I said I ran a software company. Apex Dynamics develops AI solutions that optimize global supply chains, reducing costs, predicting disruptions, serving Walmart, Target, Home Depot, and hundreds more. Google saw the value. Victoria repeated numbly. 3.8 billion. Roughly. Depending on stock valuation at close, I confirmed. My ownership is around 42%. Phones buzzed everywhere. Guests scrolled articles dating back years, Forbes profiles on the reclusive founder, growth stories without VC funding, the rare interview where I emphasized solving real problems over fame. Marcus Hale approached, eyes wide. Sophia Reynolds of Apex? We've pitched you multiple times for series funding. You always declined, said you were self-sustaining. I was, I replied. Profitable from year 3.
No debt.
No dilution.
He turned to my family.
Do you realize what she's done? Bootstrapping a tech unicorn to $9 billion without outside capital? Unheard of. Alan Whitaker cleared his throat. So, the junior coordinator position. Not necessary. But thank you, I said politely. Margaret smiled genuinely. And definitely not answering phones at my firm. What you've built is extraordinary. Honored to meet you properly. More people converged, colleagues of Ethan, Dad's business associates. Curious wedding guests. Questions flew. Timelines for integration. Expansion plans. My role post-acquisition as division CEO. I answered measuredly. Close expected in 6 months, pending approvals. I'll lead the unit. International growth via Google's infrastructure is exciting. Through it all, my family stood paralyzed. Isabella whispered repeatedly. I can't believe this. Ethan scrolled frantically, confirming every detail. The TV droned on with analyst commentary praising the deal as one of the year's largest, highlighting my low-profile success story. Victoria reached out tentatively. Sophia, why didn't you tell us? I tried. Multiple times. The 5th anniversary event at the Four Seasons downtown? Dad called it celebrating a hobby. Christmas 3 years ago, when I mentioned major contracts, Isabella told me to stop boring everyone. When I offered contractor recommendations for your remodel, Mom said no charity from someone barely getting by. Michael's face paled. We assumed. We thought you were struggling. You chose the assumption that made you feel better, superior. It elevated Isabella's achievements by contrast. Gave you someone to pity. Isabella's eyes filled with tears. We were protecting you. Making excuses.
No.
You enjoyed it. Used me as the family warning tale in front of friends. The wedding coordinator appeared. Flustered. We need to proceed to dinner service. Isabella looked dazed. Everyone. To your tables. But attention remained fixed on me. Guests kept glancing back. Whispering. The revelation hung like smoke. The sister at table 6, publicly shamed, was actually the wealthiest person present by far. My father pulled me aside gently. Can we speak privately? Just family. I checked my watch. 5 minutes. I have a call with Google exec soon. We moved to a quiet corner. Isabella cried softly. Ethan looked shell-shocked. Victoria seemed diminished. We're sorry, Victoria began. We had no idea. You had chances to know. You preferred the story that fit. Isabella sobbed. I didn't mean. I was stressed about the wedding. You meant every word. You called me an embarrassment in front of 100 people. Set me up for entry-level jobs. All to feel important. Michael asked hoarsely. What can we do? I'm not sure anything can fix 15 years of dismissal. I built Apex alone, late nights. Rejections. While you spread narratives of my failure. I started toward the parking lot. Sophia. Wait. Isabella called desperately. Please don't leave. It's my wedding. I turned. It's beautiful. Isabella. Venue perfect. Flowers stunning. Food will be excellent. You got everything you wanted, except a sister you respected. You wanted someone to look down on. You had that for 15 years. It's over. My 2012 Camry waited in the lot. I slid in. The familiar leather comforting. In the rear view, they stood watching, smaller somehow. The illusion shattered. Texts flooded my phone as I drove. Apologies. Explanations. Please from all 3. Voicemails followed. I silenced it. I called my assistant instead. Amanda. Push the Google integration call by 30 minutes. Please. Also. Schedule PR team for tomorrow morning. Acquisition buzz is higher than anticipated. We need a media strategy. Already on it. Sophia. Interview requests pouring in. Forbes, Bloomberg, Wall Street Journal. Everyone wants the reclusive founder story. Route them post-close. Focus on integration for now. Keep heads down. Understood. Anything else?
No.
Thank you. The city lights of San Francisco approached. My actual home, the 3,500 square foot penthouse with bay views, awaited. The Mission District loft story had been their assumption. I never corrected it fully. Testing how deep the disbelief ran. Memories surfaced during the drive, founding Apex in a tiny rented space. First client win after months of pitches. Scaling team quietly while family pitted me. The freedom of self-funding. Avoiding board pressures. The quiet pride each milestone brought. Unshared because it would disrupt their narrative. I pulled into the Fairmont Valet. Rode to the presidential suite. The view sparkled, city spread below. Evening lights twinkling. Somewhere. The reception continued. Toasts.
Dinner.
4 smiles. But everyone there knew the truth now. The Table 6 sister, humiliated publicly, was worth nearly $4 billion. Opening my laptop. I joined the rescheduled call. Google VPs. Directors. Lawyers filled the screen. Good evening, I said. Thanks for patience. Let's discuss timelines and synergies. We dove in market opportunities. Tech integration. Expansion roadmaps. This was success. Focused work. Problems solved. Empire built despite no. Because of underestimation. The call ran long into the evening. Productive and forward-looking. By the time it wrapped, more messages waited for my family. I didn't reply. They wanted forgiveness, understanding, reconnection. But I owed them nothing, not my time, not absolution. 15 years alone forging Apex, hiring talent, iterating code, navigating competition, all while dismissed as a dreamer. The acquisition validated everything, yet the real win was the independence it proved. Success isn't perfect families or unconditional support. It's the empire standing despite doubt. The quiet dignity in proving them wrong without vengeance. Yet questions lingered. Could family love exist without conditions? Was there shock enough for genuine change? Or would old patterns return once novelty faded? Walking away preserved my peace. But left an ache. Families should celebrate, not compete. I poured a glass of wine, staring at the city lights. The bride's embarrassment sister had built billions while they pitted. That truth would echo long after apologies faded. Perhaps one day I'd reconsider. But not tonight. Tonight belonged to the work, the team, the future. I had built something lasting, proof that underestimation can fuel greatness when you refuse to internalize it. The moral settled uneasily. Blood ties demand loyalty. But respect must be earned. My family lost sight of that. Chasing superiority. Now they face the cost. I closed the laptop. Lights of San Francisco glowing like possibilities ahead. The wedding receded. My empire waited.